Hello fellow internet dweller, Brickineer here, and this is the LEGO Harry Potter The Burrow set. Coming in at set number 4840, this 2010 LEGO Harry Potter set contains 568 pieces, 6 minifigures, and originally retailed for $60 USD, which is about $80 in today's money. Nowadays, if you want to pick the set up, you're looking at spending around $130 used and around $280 new, according to Brickset. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the Burrow. I think the biggest thing to point out right away is that this Burrow is very clearly not even close to identical to the actual Burrow from the films, from the games, the books, whatever. This Burrow is very much a different design, rather than having kind of a snaking pattern in the build. This one just goes straight up. So maybe that there is some technical limitations. I mean, it is pretty tough to build the Burrow like it is in the movie and stuff like that, with the size and piece count that I think they were going for, which explains why it looks like this. Like, you would have to have this part like stick out and up, and maybe there's some structural issues going on, and that's why they went with this design. Maybe also this could just be half of the Burrow. Like, the actual Burrow is supposed to start here and it's supposed to go backwards, and they just didn't include the back half of it. That kind of makes sense. Because then you would have like that part where it's sticking up. But by itself, if you were to count this whole thing as the Burrow, it definitely does not look like it. So it does look like it's been chopped in half and you're missing the back half. But that kind of makes sense for the price point of $60. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this. At the bottom here, you have a little vestibule or a foyer, whatever it's called, just like a little covered area for the door. The door can open and close. Obviously, it's using one of these big molded doors that is common in like the Hogwarts sets, stuff like that. A little bit of flowers. The other side, I like this part of the build. We have the windows kind of coming out at an angle. I think that looks really nice. And on the other side of here, we have the pig pen. I don't remember if the pig has a name or something like that, but you know, just a little pig. And yeah, there's two doors that go into the pig pen, one from the inside and one from the outside. I think it looks fine. The transition there, if you can see it, between the grass and the floor of the Burrow is kind of weird, but it'll have to do. And then in the back, kind of on the bottom floor, the main floor, we have a big kitchen and dining area. There's not a lot of space to work with here. We have the table, which is kind of built onto the floor, which is kind of weird. Maybe it would have been better to lift it up by like a third of a stud or a third of a brick, or maybe 2/3 of a brick, just to have kind of the bent or the table not look like it's just sitting there. We have some chairs on the side here. I'm not sure what those chairs are supposed to be used for, other than just sitting around. And on the right, you have a stool, which is not very easily removed without it breaking, which is unfortunate. And you also get a little barrel here that you can use to store wands. So let's take like Ginny's wand, for example, just throw it in there while she's not using it. The table in the center has a daily prophet on the seat, as well as some cups and a bowl full of cherries. Looking into the back with the kitchen there, you're going to see some plates stacked up. We have some pans kind of hung up there, and a stovetop a sink, pretty nice details for the kitchen. And on the other side, there is a lamp, a shelf, and a grandfather clock. That is pretty cool. I don't really like the stickers on the glass pieces in the back there. It kind of looks strange. There is a better look into that corner with the grandfather clock, and then a better look at the kitchen right there. So yeah, that is the lower floor of the burrow. One floor above that is, I would assume, to be Harry Potter and Ron's room, maybe. I'm not sure, it's not very clear. You get an owl with I'm pretty sure that's Hedwig. And then you get a chest, but you're not actually able to open the chest unless you take it out. So that is why it is easy to take out. As you can see here, the plates there are used to very easily take this chest out. And inside we have some socks and some coins, it looks like. So yeah, you have to take the chest out in order to open it, which is kind of interesting. But probably because of space concerns. As you can see, it's a very small room, about a 6 stud by 6 stud, so not a lot of space. And then there's also the beds there that are basically identical, except the blue and yellow, or blue and orange, sorry, are mixed and reversed for those sheets. And for the top floor, you get another bed with the same cover design. And then also at the back of the room, and this is really hard to get into, you have the quibbler. If I can get it out, it has one of those easy plates there, which is nice. So we have the quibbler there and a lamp, and it's kind of hard to see, so I'm not sure why they put it in there, but you can see there is a Quidditch poster on the wall there. So that is the topmost floor from the interior. From outside, I'd say it looks pretty nice. I love the design that they went here with. We have some wooden planks kind of dangling about. I think that adds a little bit of depth to the build, which makes it look nice. I love all the different colors, like they use some dark brown here just to add like a more worn down look to the burrow, and I think that really adds to the aesthetic of the build. You get another window here that's sticking out, and it also has a little roof to it, so that looks really nice. On the other side here, you get this little chimney, but it doesn't really do anything. It looks like it activates something, but it does not. Get lots of windows, 2 different types of windows, the blue and the white ones. And at the very top, you get some more windows, and you get some chimneys as well. So yeah, that is basically the entirety of the burrow itself. As an addition to the burrow, you're gonna get the fireplace. This unfortunately is not built into the burrow, but it can connect to the burrow. At least it is supposed to. If you can see here, there is space to connect it to the burrow. However, there's not really a good spot to put it. So if I was to connect it to the burrow, I would take this stool off, which is clearly not supposed to be taken off because it explodes, and also take this bucket off, and you can just put that right there. And then you have kind of the burrow with the fireplace. Maybe you could put it here. This way you can just have it connected, and then I guess you could put the barrel here, and you could put the stool here. But it's supposed to connect here, although it doesn't really give you a good spot to connect it to. And the fireplace itself is decorated with a stickered tile at the top there, with maybe some relatives of the Weasleys. They look like Painter and a Writer. I got the owl on top. Of course, you can remove that and just use it as like its own kind of pet or figure, whatever. And then the main function of this fireplace is, of course, the teleportation. to Diagon Alley and wherever else you want to go. I don't remember the exact name of the powder, but it's like the green stuff. And basically how this works is you place your figure inside of the fireplace like so. There's not really a place to stick them in. You kind of just rest them in place there. And then you just say Diagon Alley or wherever you want to go, and you twist it back. And there is the stickers for that teleportation fire. And then you pop it up and the minifigure is gone. Obviously, it just shoots them backwards, but it gets the job done. I think it is a nice little build. There is the back. Obviously, you're not going to be displaying it from the back. Unfortunately, it is on its own. I would have liked to see it incorporated into the build of the Burrow a little more. And finally, we have the swamp build. This, again, is the set is supposed to be based off of the Half-Blood Prince, where the Burrow is attacked by Bellatrix and the other guy. So it makes sense to include this swamp build because that scene mostly takes place in the swamp. You get two parts of this swamp build. The first is a tiny little catapult. It's kind of more of an annoyance than it is like useful for the build. I feel like if it just went on the side, that would have been fine. But because it's its own little build here, you have to keep track of this tiny, like 8-piece or 9-piece build that nobody cares to look at. No one cares probably to use. I mean, probably some kids might want to play with it, but I think it would just be more beneficial if it was connected to this larger piece of the swamp. That way you don't have to keep track of it, because it's just like one tiny thing that you need to keep with the rest of the set. That just doesn't look good. It doesn't add to the look of the set. It just adds a little bit to the playability. But at the same time, you already get another catapult in the larger build. So it's kind of interesting that they included a second one, especially since in the movie, they are shooting fire at the house, which makes sense with this catapult. This catapult, not so much. It comes with these red 1x1 cylinders, which don't really represent anything. Maybe they also represent fire. I'm not sure. Maybe it's supposed to be used to fight back, but I thought that's what just the wizards in general was supposed to do. So interesting build. This one, much better. It's supposed to represent the swamp, and it does so with the little tiles here supposed to represent water. I think they could have used a translucent piece. That probably would have worked better, but I think it looks fine nonetheless. There's also a frog. I also love the inclusion of these bushes. You get a little bit of rock work in the back along with the second catapult, and the ammunition for this catapult is supposed to be these flames. So these flames here represent both the swamp on fire as well as the flames that the Death Eaters use to attack the Burrow. And I mean, it's pretty obviously how it works. You just put in the flame into the catapult and flip it. So it's a fun little build. I think this is much better than this one, obviously. And it would have been nice if they were connected, but I think by itself, it's a pretty good play feature, as well as adding a little bit with the swamp locale to the set. For the minifigures that you get in the set, you're gonna get a total of 6 of them, which I think is a decent amount. The entire scene, at least from the Half-Blood Prince, includes about 12 characters, which is pretty unrealistic to expect for a $60 set. So I think 6, the most important characters from that scene, makes sense, of course. So the first minifigure we're going to take a look at is Bellatrix Lestrange, by far the best figure from this set. She has a new hair piece there. It's kind of like I don't think it's the exact same plastic as the normal pieces. It seems to be a bit more rubbery, but maybe I'm just going insane. The print on the dress looks amazing, and you can barely even see the seam between the torso and the like dress piece. It's not using like the newer dress piece, so it's just like a normal Lego piece, and I think it works very, very well. The face looks pretty good. There is a second face. As you can see there, it is more of a shocked or scared expression. I don't think this really fits Bellatrix, though, because she's never really scared, at least not in this scene, maybe when she dies. I think she dies. I haven't seen the Harry Potter movies in a while, so I don't know the full thing about Bellatrix, but this is the only set that she does come in, from what I believe. So maybe they needed to include this facial expression for another scene that she's not included in. I'm not sure, but a second face is always welcome. And then there is some back printing, which is covered up by the hair, but just like the back of a dress. It does look really good though. So that is Bellatrix Lestrange. Then we have Fenrir Greyback, the Death Eater werewolf guy. He looks fine as a minifigure. I love all the little hair details, the hairy chest and stuff. Pretty accurate to the scene. No back printing, unfortunately. No leg printing as well. I think that this figure just looks fine. He also does have a second head there, a more disturbed look. But I love the look of this figure. I think he looks cool. And just like the character in general. I don't really remember him from the movie, but he's just like a cool looking character. And he's exclusive to this set and the bigger Diagon alley. So he's a pretty cool figure. Then of course we have Harry Potter. What's a Harry Potter set without including a Harry Potter minifigure? Thankfully this one does include a new torso design that I don't believe is in any other set. Maybe it's in something else. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really remember. There's a little bit of back printing there. The face is the same as all the other Harry Potter figures, along with the hair. The only thing different about this guy is, of course, that torso, which is a blue jacket. That looks pretty good. If you've never seen the Harry Potter figure, which I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, that is the back of the face, just like a matter facial expression. But yeah, that is the Harry Potter minifigure included in the set. Then, for the first of 3 Weasleys included in the set is Ginny Weasley. Now, I just watched the scene from where this set is based off of in Half-Blood Prince, and she's actually wearing like a bathrobe. In the scene, she's not wearing this outfit, so maybe this outfit is from another scene or from when we originally meet her in the what's the second one called? The Chamber of Secrets. Maybe that is what this outfit is based off of, because it's definitely not based off of the Half-Blood Prince when the Burrow is attacked. But this outfit is pretty cool. I love the dark red jeans. They look really nice. She has like a sweater that looks pretty cool. There is a little bit of back printing that we'll take a look at in a second. I'm not sure if this is a new hairpiece for her, but it's most likely a new hairpiece in this color of orange. And then the face print there, she does have 2 faces. If we take the hair off and turn her around, you can see there she has a mad face, and there's the back of the sweater. So that is Ginny Weasley. This is, I believe, I think she appears in one other set in like the 2010 Harry Potter sets. So she's pretty rare from this era of Lego Harry Potter. Then you're going to get Arthur Weasley, or Mr. Weasley, the dad. He looks very nice. He's got a sand green jacket there with a plaid undershirt. Good looking guy. There's the back of the torso. Classic hairpiece, a smiling face with a little bit of wrinkles to show his age, and no back head printing. I kind of forgot that. So there's no part where he's like mad. That might have been a nice inclusion. Maybe they did that because the hair wouldn't cover it up. But yeah, it would have been nice to have that back head printing. And finally, we have Molly Weasley, the mom of the Weasley family. She's wearing looks like a crocheting apron, something like that, with a sweater underneath. That looks really nice. I love the leg printing and how the apron goes down there. I will take a look at the back in just a second. I'm not sure, again, if this is a new hairpiece for Molly or if it's just a new color for this hairpiece. Very interesting colors on this figure for sure. There's a lot of like orange and tan and brown. And also no back head printing, but there is the back of the torso there with the sweater and the tie for the apron. So again, and it's kind of weird that they included her because she's not really in the scene at all. But again, maybe this is because they're including her because like the rest of the Weasleys are in it, or at least Arthur's in it, stuff like that. So it just makes sense to include her, even though she's not in the scene that much. But yeah, that is all the minifigures. I was kind of disappointed when I got this set as a kid because it did not come with Ron Weasley, who was in the scene. About the same as much as Molly was. She wasn't really the main character in that scene. But it would have been nice to get Ron because I never had Ron as a kid. So getting the Weasley house without Ron kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think that you get a lot of rarer Weasleys. You get like the Death Eaters and stuff, so I think it makes up for it in like the long run. But yeah, that is all of the minifigures. Here is how I display the Burrow. It is along with the rest of my Harry Potter collection. I have it by the Privet Drive set because that set comes with the Weasley car, which obviously matches or fits with the Weasley house. I hope you can see what I mean by these side builds don't really fit in. It's kind of annoying to have them all kind of just around. I kind of wish that it stood by itself, like the Burrow stood by itself without having to have all these extra builds. But yeah, that is how I display the Burrow. There's some also, I'll show a couple other display options that I came up with that I think would look good with this Burrow set. But yeah, this is how I display it. So overall, I think this Burrow set is pretty good. It looks nice. There's some fun play features. However, do I recommend getting it? If you're trying to collect all the Harry Potter sets, maybe you're trying to collect all the 2010 Harry Potter sets, or if you have some sort of nostalgic connection to this set, then I would say, of course, go ahead. But if you're just looking for a Burrow Lego set, I don't think you should get this set. And the reason why is 5 simple numbers, 75980. What's that, you might ask? Well, it's this. The attack on the Burrow. This set is from 2020 and is still on store shelves. You can still get it on Amazon, Lego.com. And I think that it is just objectively a better Burrow. It looks better. As you can see, it actually has that snaking pattern, whereas this one, of course, does not. It's much more complete, I guess, from 2 angles, but it's better to display. There's less side builds. Like, this is the only little side build, whereas with this one, there's 3 of them. The furnace is built into this Burrow. So I think that this Burrow, unless you want the old Burrow for like a very specific reason, like you like the aesthetic, you like the time period that it's coming from, something like that, I would say hands down get this one instead, because it is just objectively better, and this one's probably even more expensive if you're gonna get it online, on eBay, on Bricklink, at a third-party mom and pop Lego store. I think this one is just objectively worse than this one. I'm not going to do a full comparison because M&R Productions has already made a video. I'm not going to review this set because there's tons of reviews of it already. But yeah, just like comparing these two, if you want a Burrow, if you don't care and you just want a Burrow, obviously this one is going to be better than this one. With that being said, of course, though, this is still not a bad set. I think if you ignore the newer Burrow, this is still a good set. And like I said, if you care about like the nostalgia connection, collecting all the 2010 Harry Potter sets, something like that, this is still a good set and it is worth picking up. Just if you just care about getting a Burrow, you shouldn't get this one because it's just not as good. But other than that, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched, consider leaving a like, and if you're new to the channel and like what you saw, consider subscribing for similar videos. In any case, have a great rest of your day. Peace out.